I'm in my office. So, yesterday, we got our food delivery from the where we get the meals for free. And, we set that up, but my housing case manager, the one that every time I tell stuff is going on here, it gets worse, she set that up for me. You know what they brought me? All meals with beef meatballs, and then one meal with some really, really hard chicken tenders that I couldn't eat. Is that a coincidence? Also, we did go to the food pantry. Now, that was the other case manager. She's always nice, but I have a feeling that she's involved in all this. And, she wanted to take me to the food pantry next to, that place. Well, they're connected with that place, so I'm not going there. I don't want to go there because every time I've gone there, there's been some sort of incident. So I waited until she got here, and then I told her I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go to a different one. And I told her everything, you know, because I've told her twice that this has been going on, and she said she was going to reach out to them. She didn't. And when we got back here after we picked up the food, a person walked out of one of the rooms that I believe has the most to do with what's been happening here. And he had a computer in his hand, and he was like doing this to, you know, me and her in the car. And then he yelled out, "Hey!" And she was like, "Oh, hey!" And then she was like, "Yeah, he works where I work." I know. Everyone knows everybody. So this is just a very disheartening situation. But now that we do have food, I can breathe for a second. See, that's the thing about just living in poverty in general. Each little thing is such a hassle, especially if you don't have transportation, right? And if one of those things, shelter, or housing, food, clothing, you know, the basic necessities, if one of those is in imbalance, then everything in your life is imbalanced. Because despite those being little things that, you know, most people would take for granted if they have them all, and they're used to having them all, then it's not, you know, anything cataclysmic, but when you live in poverty, it is, because trying to find food can take days if you don't have money, and you don't have transportation, and you don't have the things you need in place to set those up. And when the ones in charge do have all of those things in place for themselves, then there's no empathy for the ones that they're serving that don't. So, they can do all these things to, like, block it and you know, and the thing that bothers me the most, I believe, is that the people that are in charge of it do have all those things in place, so they don't have to worry about those things. And then if they don't like you, or they get mad at you because you didn't do something, then they can go and fuck up one of the other things that, without any kind of, you know, conscience. That's the only thing I could think, because there's an absence of conscience to do those things to somebody in the first place. And it's, I don't know, for me it's just, I just It's just gross to me that, you know, that people like that would have the power or the ability to do that to somebody, because I don't think they realize that any little thing, an accident, an illness, or you know, a loss of a job can put you in that same situation at any moment. And I guess the only way you can have a conscience or empathy for somebody else is unless you've lived it, or unless it's happened to you or someone you loved. And that's such a shame. It's such a shame that it has to happen to you in order for you to feel for another human being. And in some cases, here I've noticed that it has happened to them and they still don't have empathy or sympathy for somebody else who's in the same situation or a worse situation. All the systems are broken and everything needs to be changed, and there's not a whole lot, we can do individually about that, but collectively, if we work together and felt empathy for each other, because we're all going to be in that situation soon enough, it looks like, anyway. And this situation has broken both of us. We're not the same. We're not, we can't be ourselves. So, because if we are, we have to be afraid. I don't think anybody should have to be afraid for being who they are. Nobody should have to fear losing food or shelter or their life because somebody else can take those things away at any moment because they don't like the way you look, or they don't like that you have something that they don't, or, it's nuts to me. I could never imagine somebody telling me they have a food allergy and purposely giving them that food allergy over and over again to taunt them. Like, that is, it's disgusting. There was one woman there who worked there, and she would always talk about how she had, that nobody could cook a certain thing while she was in the kitchen, and everybody respected that. Why? Because she worked there? But those same people would over and over put pork in my food, or bring me my allergy in the meals that is our only source of food because all of our money's been shut off, Like, why? Because she worked there, it's different. Well, if you're doing this to me, then they had to have been doing this to other people too, that they didn't like. And it just feels now, seeing how everything's played out, that this might have been the plan all along. And that it was all purposely done because of my beliefs and identity and my social media presence, and how I've connected with certain people that align with my beliefs. And then what do? But the thing about it is, people don't actually communicate with each other to know what each other's beliefs are. They just, well, bias. Everybody's so biased, and they only, believe what they want to, or only hear what they want to hear, and then that's, confirmation to just do whatever they want to each other without actually getting to know each other, asking questions. And that's such a sad thing for the world, because despite our political or religious beliefs, we're all human beings who deserve to be treated like human beings. And I'm going to tell you, yesterday after we got the food and we got back here, just the relief of, my kiddo was just, was always just thrilled. Because my kid is so tired of losing everything, because it's always under somebody else's control. Somebody else's control who claims to have our best interest at heart, that does not, in fact, actually have our best interest at heart and has another agenda. So, they can justify doing that to a child, ripping their belongings away, keeping them starving, and then, say it's under the guise that it's for the kid's best interest, but it's not. There's nothing just about it. But the relief and we could just breathe. And then once we have all of those things in place, then I can finally get all the things I need to done. But if I'm constantly having to find food in one time, or constantly having to look for transportation, or constantly having to look for one of those main pillars of survival, then you're stuck. And then you're living in fear and anxiety and perpetual, So that's, I think, the goal. Is it right? Absolutely fucking not. Do I see it? Yeah, I see it. I see it all. I'm tired of it. I'm angry because I was betrayed. All the things I was promised were lies. And they have been my whole life. All the people I thought were on my side weren't actually on my side. And we were hurt worse than when we started. And then this, having to constantly deal with all of these stupid distractions, keep me from being able to focus on what I actually want to do, on my actual loving, reciprocal relationships. And then I take it out on the people who do love me, who do see me. And then that hurts me too. And that's probably already factored in because they think everything. But I've set an intention that I will always surprise them. And not move the way they want me to. And since they don't understand how that works, that's kind of a ace in the hole for me. But still, I'm sorry I'm such an asshole or a bitch. This is horrendous. That's the laser. I love you. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I've worked hard to build this. And I've worked extra hard because there's been so many blockages and distractions, and purposeful sabotage of my purpose. And I know my purpose is bigger than even I think I understand now. But I'm sorry to the ones who have had my back and who are looking out for me and do love me. I don't mean to take out my frustrations. I say the wrong thing all the time, and I don't mean to hurt anybody, even the ones who've hurt me, because I can see where they're coming from despite the fact that they can't see where I'm coming from. Or they don't see me as a human being. That's okay. I've done the work to understand that it comes from hurt. It doesn't excuse it or make it right, but I do deeply apologize for being such an asshole a lot of the time. This is an ass situation that I feel just completely trapped and helpless in. Because it's not just me I'm looking out for. The fact that they know. I mean, look, they got after my kids, so why wouldn't they go after all the other people that I love? Or try to do the same things to them as they did to me. And I just want to protect everybody from it. But I also have to realize when I need help from it. And to ask for help when I need it. But I can't do that here. Because the help is disguised as something else. And it's hard to differentiate sometimes. And then it makes me not trust what I know to be true about the ones who do love and see me. So, I'm sorry. And I love you. Deeply and sincerely. And I just want to thank you guys for lightening the road a little bit. Just seeing faces that see me helps a lot. I wish I could see them in person. Alright, I love you. I'm gonna start this day.